I retired about 3 years ago, and I can't get over not having a job to go to every Monday morning when I get up. And I decided some years ago to get out and get me a job. I was just a young man at that time, 1918, so I applied for a job with the DuPont company at Old Hickory at Nashville.
Stop right there for just a second. Let me make sure that we're playback is the same as rewind. It's
It's just,
we were 1918.
1918 on a Monday night, I boarded the train and
Go ahead, honey.
I boarded the train at the Union Station here in Memphis to go to Nashville. Something just told me that something was going to happen. So we rode to McKenzie. This train went to McKenzie, and they switched us to another train, switched the cars, one or the other, I can't tell which. So all along the night, something was telling me something was going to happen.
You changed cars.
So we changed cars. I must have been to the L&N Railroad. And all along, the crowd on the train was rough. I didn't know nobody. And the crowd was really rough. So long about 6 o'clock, something just kept telling me that something was going to happen. Long about 6 o'clock that morning, I come out of that coach into the front end of this coach. I had my little hand grip with me, and instead of just leaning over, trying to get a little rest, I pulled the shade down over the glass. And around 7 o'clock, the awfulest rumbling that you ever heard, 7 o'clock in the morning. And I got up and turned around and looked, people were just laying everywhere and the blood just running all over them. This little lady that had been sitting across from me there had a little baby. Cut her arm off and stuck it through the baby. When the trains run together, I tried to get out and I couldn't get out. I had to raise the window and the glass was all falling everywhere. Finally, I got out of there and looked in this train. This coach had come out of was standing up like that, and this one was revved up against it. I forgot my bag, and when I managed to get back in there and get my bag out, and I wandered around, going out across. It was in a cornfield, the best I can remember, down on the pass. I run across one of the train when he was just laying there. Every time he'd breathe, this blood would just run out of his mouth. It knocked me down.
Did you know who you were?
I wandered around and I got away from him and got a little branch, water. I crossed that little branch and I got up on that other pass. It wasn't long, an hour or so, till here come a truck piled up full of tin tubs to pick up the bodies, the bodies they couldn't tell one part from another, one body whose body it was just cut all to pieces.
Where did you go?
Just a minute, give me a little time. So there was, somebody said, "Why, if you got any jewelry on, you better watch out so the thugs are cutting the fingers off and taking the rings off the heads." Finally, I got away from there. That something that was bothering me was when I come out of that other car and come back into this car, that saved my life right there. God is with me.
Why was it you changed the cars?
I changed coaches. The coach in front of me that I come out, I was stood up like that, and this human rammed up in it.
How much before then had you changed? What time of the trip did you change from that coach to the one you were in?
Just 1 hour, 6 o'clock, and it happened at 7.
Was that because people were rowdy in the other coach? I think you said
You were
people
just
were
frightened.
just frightened. You just felt like something was going to happen, and that's why you moved coaches?
That's right. And this coach that was standing up like that, the people nearly all of them was down here in this inn here next to mine. Couldn't nobody get in there, had to some way climb up on the top and come down through the top of it to get it out to the people. And I went to the Grand Central Station, not Grand Central, but Union Station at Nashville. And I don't even remember how I got away from the wreck, but I know all I can remember is being around that Union Station from Tuesday morning at 7 o'clock until 11 o'clock Friday. I was on the missing list. My brother and brother-in-law had come to Nashville to search the funeral homes to see whether they could find me or not. All I could think about, somebody had carried me to somewhere, and I had been vaccinated, and I had changed my clothes. I'd pull off my dress clothes and put on the overalls. How that happened, I don't know.
Let me stop for just a second and make sure. You were 18 or 19?
I was 18.
And you had come from Memphis to Nashville to work at DuPont?
DuPont's Old Hickory, they call it.
Uh-huh.
At that time, it was during World War I.
Were you working there, or was this?
I was just going there. They was calling for help to operate the place, the DuPont place,
Yeah. Had you been out of Memphis much before then?
And only from Somerville, Tennessee, down here to visit my father's people. That's the only time as far as I had been away from home. I didn't know nobody on that train.
So you had enough on your mind anyway, just going to a strange city, applying for a strange job.
Yeah, man, looking for something to happen too,
Right.
Something was just telling me something's going to happen. And what it was a wreck. And
Were you aware as you were approaching Nashville that the train was running late?
I don't remember about the train running late, no.
How crowded were the cars?
Oh, just packed up. Sometimes 3 sitting on one seat. This lady with the little child, she had the little child laying down on this seat, and she was sitting over here. I didn't see it, but I was told that somebody said, did you know that the lady's hand was cut off and she stuck through the little child? I said, no.
In the car that you moved out of, the one where you changed cars,
She was in the car that I moved into out of that car that stood up.
The one that stood up, was that one where a lot of casualties were in that car?
No, everybody had kind of quieted down, you know, for a little rest, I guess.
Honey, the car you left.
Yeah.
He's talking about the car you left.
Was that were most people in that car that you left, were most of them killed?
That's what I don't know. I said it was standing up like this, and it was all packed down in there.
How
I
long?
presume that one thing about it, that this train was all steel coaches, and the big fast train that run through that little accommodation coming out of Nashville and just tore it all to pieces.
Tore the steel coaches?
No, tore this little accommodation train, you know, little train would ride about 2 or 3 coaches, you know. It just splintered it. It was all wood coaches, you know, back at that time.
So your train was just 2 or 3 coaches?
I,
The train you were on was just 2 or 3 coaches?
No, my train was around 12 or 14 coaches long, and it was a fast train. And this other one was just coming out of Nashville at 7 o'clock, see, 7 miles. And it just crammed into it, just ran up.
When did you become aware that it was a train wreck?
I wasn't sure until I got out. Until I got out on the ground and saw what had happened. You know, the 2 trains run together.
Where were the 2 engines? Were they still on the track, or did they not?
No, they was knocked all down. The little accommodation is just, you know, one of them old high stacks, you know, it was just laying over into the field off the side of the track. Well, it wasn't tore all to pieces.
Back then, were people worried? Was the idea of a train wreck, like when I got on a plane, I worry about a plane crash. But did people worry about train wrecks, or were they so rare that you felt safe?
Well, I hadn't even given it a thought. Just like I said, I felt just like something was going to happen, but I couldn't pin it down.
Right.
But when I moved out of that coach back in the other one and pulled the shade down over the glass, that's when I realized it might be this train going to wreck.
Well, couldn't have done anything. I mean, that's you could
He
tell
said the
people.
shade prevented the glass from cutting him.
That's what I was thinking just then. That pulling that shade down kept that glass.
Yes, that's right. See that those trains at that time, there was double glass, double sash in there. But it just tore the whole thing out. Just a jaw.
Now, were you injured in the wreck?
I was bloody all over. All in my side and my back. And I really believe that's what caused me to lose my right kidney.
How did was that from the window or from being knocked around?
Knocked around.
How much out of your seat were you knocked?
Half of the coach.
I guess you were bouncing off other seats.
I come back and looking for my bag, you know, and jumped out a window. And I turned around and looked. I said, I don't even have my bag. How'd I get out of there? And finally, I went back to saw some people coming out, you know, the ones that wasn't butchered up so bad. And so I went back in there, and out my bag was, and I picked it up and come on out.
It must have knocked him kind of out of reality because he wandered around there until Friday.
That's what I say. All I could think about is the police and the Union Station up there. I hadn't even had a bath. I hadn't shaved. Only I'd been vaccinated and had my overalls on. I don't know how all that happened. I never got any word from the DuPont company or from the railroad.
Did you wander around at the scene of the wreck? Did you stay there? Like, was it just kind of in disbelief as you saw people trying to...
I don't remember how long I stayed there, but anyway, I was picked up. It could have been the DuPont company come out to pick up the people because they knew a whole lot of them was coming to work at the plant. It could have been, I don't know this, but that's the only way I can figure out that I was vaccinated and had changed into my clothes.
He had an identification thing put around his neck too. He didn't know where that was.
Vaccinated for what, tetanus?
He didn't.
Or just you were given a shot, but you don't know what it was?
If I was, I didn't know nothing about it.
Was there a munitions factory involved? My understanding was that was DuPont. They weren't making munitions, were they?
DuPont had a contract making powder for the United States.
And that's what they were doing in Nashville.
That's what they see. They all over Wilmington, Delaware, all up in there, and all over the United States with plants. They even got plants here in Memphis.